What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be diving down the rabbit hole of the big 3 upgrade on a GM product. So basically we have our 2017 Cadillac Escalade ESV. Right now it has about 107,000 miles on it, and it's starting to just randomly intermittently give me some starting issues. It will just click when you press the button and it won't start. So doing some research and comparing it to my other GM vehicles, a lot of times it ends up being a grounding issue, because basically, you know, you have these heavy alternator cables, starter cables, etc., and then you have these wimpier grounds where this is your ground that goes on this truck. It goes somewhere down by the starter. I think typically on the older trucks it comes up to like the cylinder head, and I know on the cars it does the same thing. And then you have this real skinny guy right here, and that's your chassis ground. So what I am doing today is somewhat of my own version of a big 3 upgrade, where basically I'm going to be adding 2 grounds and 2 power wires, all 2 gauge wires, so on the thicker side, but we're going to be running it all in parallel to what we already have on the truck. So on my 06 cts-v, I ran into an issue like this where the battery was reading a low voltage, and I ended up replacing the battery, and it actually wasn't that. It was charging. When it was running, it was charging fine, but when it was sitting still, it was reading a lower voltage. I ended up replacing the battery. It was still doing it. It turns out it was the grounds. So I cleaned the factory grounds, and then I added some additional grounds to the engine and to the chassis. I added 2 more grounds, and that ended up fixing my issue. So upon further research, I've seen a lot of people with these K2X trucks having to replace their negative cables, and then people also doing the big 3 upgrade and correcting their electrical issues that they're running into on these things. I mean, it's nothing new. It dates back to as far as the GMT 800 and all that. So I'm not surprised that I'm doing this on this truck. So let me give you guys a quick rundown on what I'm doing and how we're gonna get it done. Again, this is how I'm doing it. I'm not saying this is like, you know, the official way, but I think it's similar or the same. Either way, this is how we're doing it. So on these new trucks, we have our positive cable comes off the terminal here, jumps over to this stud. This stud then branches out to the alternator wire right here, and then it loops down to here where there's a harness for some other smaller gauge wires. Now these are all fused circuits. Then we have our starter relay that's on a 175 amp. We have a blank 125. Perfect timing. And then we have this other 175 right here, the third and last stud. This stud jumps all the way across, runs across the firewall to the fuse box over there. And then we have this one that goes into this loom, and I'm not quite sure where it goes down to, but it goes down into the depths right there. So what I'm gonna be doing to start is they're getting delivered at some point today, but we're gonna be running a new positive cable from the alternator stud right here. And we're going to be running that guy along with the wire right to the alternator. So it will ultimately be doubling the thickness of the wire. We're just going to run those 2 in parallel. Then I'm going to be running another positive cable from this stud from the starter, and we're going to be running that one down to the starter as well. Now I haven't gotten under the truck yet to look at the starter, because if I can fit the second one on the starter and keep this one, I'll probably go ahead and do that. But if not, I will just take this wire out and keep the new thicker wire at the starter, because I want to say this looks to be about like a 4 gauge. We're going to be stepping up to a 2 gauge, which I think will be closer to this alternator. Then I've been mentioning grounds this entire time. We're going to be digging into and adding more grounds. So I think what I'm going to end up doing for that, we're going to add another ground from the battery to the engine, and then we're going to be adding another ground from the engine to the chassis. So right off of here, we're gonna hook up another wire because the way this is laid out, it's not as easy as having all these studs here. I think for now, what I'm gonna do is just put it on the stud right here that comes off of the terminal, the post, and then we're gonna run it through our little amperage meter thing here, and then we're gonna route it around. And I already took it out, but this bolt right here, it comes out of the front of the cylinder head and it holds this bracket for the intake on. So it's gonna go right down in here, this hole right here, because this is where the factory ground is on my cts-vs, on my Suburban. So I know that is a spot that had been used in the past, and we're gonna leave that other ground that goes down, my guess, down near the starter, and we're gonna leave that one be. Then from there, we're gonna have another cable that goes from this bolt on the cylinder head, and we're gonna run it up somewhere to the chassis. I kind of like the idea of this bolt right here, because it goes to the whole battery tray. So I'm thinking maybe we'll just jump it across. I think we have a 20-inch cable, so we'll jump it across probably to that bolt. I think will be our best bet. All right, so our cables are here. I have two 20-inch cables, a ground strap and a positive, and I have two 36-inch cables, ground strap and a positive as well. So let's get started. I'm gonna do the alternator wire first, which I believe is gonna be my 20-inch cable. And this one should be the starter. I'm assuming this one's gonna reach the starter. We'll find out, but let me get started. We're gonna get the alternator wire on here first. So to kind of get started here, this one's the alternator wire with the yellow stripe. I threw a washer down in there so that it ensures, there's a little ridge right here. I just want to make sure that, we get a nice flat surface for this thing to sit on. So we'll get that guy right down on there, and we'll just thread it on to get it started. I need some movement in this just so we can get it routed, but I'm going to end up just looping it down below here, and then we're going to go right onto the stud. Okay, so alternator, I'm going to throw a zip tie probably right down here, route it like that. I'm gonna do something, but I want to get this cover back up on the stud, so I might just cut it off of here, pop it over this stud, and just throw a zip tie around it all once we get this tightened down. So this is how I'm going to leave it right here. I'm probably going to have to trim the top piece that goes on top of the battery. Probably have to notch this out a little bit to clear these larger cables that are sticking out. But this is our new charge wire, just like so. Now I'm going to do the ground wire, and that is going to go down here to the little threaded hole on the cylinder head. Now I also noticed that there's a spot right here that has the same threaded hole. I could go right to the alternator bracket, but I mean the alternator bracket goes to the cylinder head there, and there already is a bolt there for this bracket itself. So that's why I'm probably just going to keep it that way. And I'm going to end up having to put this bracket in front of my new alternator wire because it kind of sticks out like this for the intake to sit on. So then we can get that tweaked down once this whole assembly is back on. So I'm going to use the 36-inch ground cable, and I'm going to run it from our terminal up there and route it down to here. So this is how I have this right now. When it goes down the battery, it's going to come up. It goes down through this amp meter, whatever the heck this thing is. And then we have it routing down to here. Now I'm going to get the other one. It's going to go to this bolt right here, which goes into this like T-bar piece, but this is going to be the 20-incher. So I'm going to, I guess, bolt that all up first on that bolt, and then I'll get this guy done, and then I'll run through and tighten everything, and then I'll hook this positive cable up here, route it down. This is going to be tough. This stupid design on this guy right here, I think in the future, if this works in the future, I think what I'll do is I'll get a different style piece right here, or I'll do a distribution block maybe up on the firewall and cut like this cable and route it into a distribution block to then split it off. So we'll see. There is some room for improvement on this. This is the only part that I'm not too crazy about, but if it works for now, it works for now. Okay, so we have our lines all tight here. So we have our alternator cable that runs, it's gonna run right along here to our alternator stud. Now again, like I mentioned, I left the factory alternator wire there as well. And we have our starter cable. Starter cable hooked up tight right there. It's gonna get zip tied down there, and I just have it thrown down towards the starter right now. I'm gonna get under there next, and we're gonna get that hooked up to the starter. Then we have our ground wire right here, and runs through, comes to the bolt right there on the front of the cylinder head that this bracket mounts to, and then we have it split off to our other length of wire that goes right down here, that little bolt to the battery tray. So our grounds are done, our positive is done. I just got to get underneath there to the starter, and while I'm down there, I'm gonna figure out where the factory ground cable goes and see if I can clean up those contacts with this Scotch-Brite pad. All right, so looking up in here, this is where my cable dropped. That's the ground. So looks pretty clean, but it's just up there on the side of the engine block. So I'm gonna feed my wrench up there, and I'm gonna pull her down, clean her up. Okay, so our starter cable, it's on this stud right here. Not too bad looking, but also not super clean. A little bit of corrosion, not much on there. That's not bad. But my question is, am I gonna just do a new cable, or can I conjoin these two together? We got both cables hooked up to the starter. Runs up, doesn't touch the frame rail. We're gonna throw a zip tie up there just so it stays put, but it swoops down away from the exhaust, so we got a good couple inches to keep it away from the heat. I'll probably get some heat sheathing on there at some point though in the near future. This is our other chassis ground that comes off the battery right here. I might pop that one off. It's a 10 mil, give it a little scuff on the back side, but we also just added that fat chassis ground. But you know, while we're at it, we might as well do what we can. So I'm gonna clean up this chassis ground right here, and then we will hook the battery back up and see what our voltage reading is on the dash again. Hopefully it's better, and try and start this thing, because this thing wasn't starting in the driveway. So we'll see what we got. This guy didn't look too bad, but shined her up a little bit. Now we're just gonna pop it right back on there. Then we'll get this thing hooked up. All right, so we're all hooked back up. We got the ground all hooked back up here. Tested our battery. We have 12.52 volts between the two posts, and in between the ground and each one of these posts here. I'm gonna test the alternator as well. Get down in there. 12.53 on the alternator, and then let's test this cable over here. 12.54. All right, so in the truck we should have more voltage. All right, now just for the sake of closing out this video, I have been driving this thing for about 2 weeks now. Let's pop her open here. I just finished this, some heat wrap came in. So I threw a little bit of heat wrap on the wire that goes down there to the starter, since it goes near the header, keep it protected. But everything's good. I've been driving it for about 2 weeks now, since I made the initial first part of this video, and I haven't had any issues. It starts first try, starts good, runs good, all that jazz. Haven't had any click no starts. Everything just seems to be working with it. So just to wrap it up, basically, if you guys are running into a click no start issue on your Escalade, on your Suburban, your Yukon, your Tahoes, of the newer K2X generation. I mean, even on the GMT 800s, if you're having issues on that, because like I said earlier, happened on my cts-v, my first gen cts-v. So if you're having any kind of issues, check out a big 3 upgrade. Check out upgrading those grounds, beefing up that alternator wire that goes to the battery. And again, like I mentioned, I beefed up that wire going down to the starter. Might not have been necessary, but while I'm here, it's one of those things. So hope you guys found this video useful. You know, there's no guarantee that that's going to be your fix, but in my case it was. The battery was testing, the battery was checking out. I was about to throw a new battery in it, I was about to throw a starter in it, but I figured before I go down this path, let me spend $35 on some cable and then some heat wrap and see if it fixes our issue, and it did. So I always try and go with the simple fix before I just start throwing parts at something, because doing something like this, I'd much rather try it and have it not work than, you know, spend $250 on a battery and have it not work, or spend $100 on a starter, go through the whole hassle of swapping it and have it not change anything. So like I said, hope this helps you guys. It's something to consider if you're having a click no start issue on your GM product, and hope it could help somebody out there. If you enjoyed this, I don't really do this many, you know, how-tos that often for something like this, but either way, hit me with a subscribe, hit me with a like on the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.